What's up, Niner fam? My name is JT Magnum. Welcome to Niner News. The 49ers lost in heartbreaking fashion yesterday on the last kick of the game to the Arizona Cardinals, 23-20. It was a very hard-fought effort by the 49ers. I felt like they had lots of opportunities to take the lead, lots of opportunities to actually beat the Cardinals, but didn't capitalize on a lot of opportunity and kind of blew it. They kind of blew this game. They blew it with some penalties. They blew it with some poor effort, some fumbles. They're just such. It's hard to say this, but they're such a bad team right now at this point that things happen like this to bad teams and they just can't catch a break. And that's the 49ers right now. They just can't catch a break. And it's unfortunate because we've watched, over the years, the 49ers pull out of games like this, but now they're back to the old form where we used to watch back in the Mike Nolan era, where we watch a game and it's like a heartbreaking fashion, we lose again, or it's just one of those things where the Niners just can't seem to get over the hump. But all in all, they did play a great game. Colin Kaepernick actually played a pretty decent game in my opinion. To me, it wasn't great. A lot of people will say, oh, he's amazing again. He's Colin Kaepernick. He's starting to learn Chip Kelly's offense. I don't see it. I still see the guy that just can't figure out what to do in the pocket. I still see the guy that just can't make decisions fast enough and throw accurate passes. And I still see the guy that he just isn't. I think he's a backup. He's a backup quarterback right now in the NFL. I think there's other quarterbacks that are better than him. I watch other quarterbacks. I still have the NFL package. I watch so many games during the course of a year, and I watch these young quarterbacks play, how they move in the pocket. I watch the old guys play, how they move in the pocket. Colin Kaepernick looks nothing like those guys. Like I watched Dak Prescott play against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I know he has the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. I get it. But at the same time, he moves very well in the pocket, knows where to go, knows where to step up when he has to. If somebody's beat on that offensive line, he knows how to escape and still look downfield and throw accurate balls. And he's a rookie. There's guys like Derek Carr. There's guys like, of course, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Those guys are constant professionals the way they move in the pocket. Colin Kaepernick does not resemble guys like that. He just looks confused a lot of the time. So I don't agree with experts when they talk about how Colin Kaepernick is improving. Maybe if he's improving to them, that's fine. But to me, I still think we need to go quarterback next year. But all in all, I don't want to put him down because he did give a valiant effort. He did, try to put this team on his back and win, but they just couldn't get over the hump, unfortunately. The defense played a lot better than they have the past 7 weeks. Against the run, they were stuffing David Johnson. I was shocked because I don't know if it was a combination of Dorsey playing. Dorsey was manning that middle now, and it wasn't Purcell as much. Dorsey was doing a great job of stuffing the run up front. Maybe he follows the game plan a lot better. Maybe they were filling the gaps a lot better. I'm not sure what was working so well yesterday that they were stopping David Johnson. But I really came into this game thinking to myself, oh my goodness, David Johnson's going to run for like 200 yards. And he didn't. He didn't really kill us that much. And I thought the referees were a little bit too much with the flags. It just seems like whenever we play the Arizona Cardinals, the referees seem to screw up a lot. There was some good calls by the refs. I'm not going to say there was every bad call by the refs, but they messed up on a holding call that put us back. It was a first down play. They messed up on a holding call. It ended up making us like 2nd and 30, and it ruined the whole drive that we were doing. And it pissed me off because that's a game-changing kind of thing, and it wasn't even a hold. It was on Daniel Kilgore. He never even really did anything to the guy, never even grabbed the guy. He was just pushing off, and for some reason they called a hold, and I'm not sure what it was or where they saw or what they saw a hold on, but it was definitely not a hold. There was a play where David Johnson scored. He was actually out of bounds. He stepped out of bounds before he scored, but they still let the touchdown stand, which, I mean, who's to say that he wouldn't have scored the very next play? I mean, it's a 1-yard run, and the Niners haven't been stopping the run as well anyways. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you might as well just give him the touchdown. But all in all, I thought the officiating was a little touchy and a little more biased towards the Cardinals than it was towards the Niners, but is what it is. You can't complain about officiating. You got to overcome that, and you got to be able to make plays to win the game. And unfortunately, the Niners just couldn't make enough plays to win the game. Real quick, I want to talk about a couple things. Will Redmond is out for the year. I don't know if anybody saw this, but he's on the IR for the rest of the year. And Trent Baalke promised that he would play this year, that he would make it through training camp, and then he would play this year. And we have another guy that he drafted with a knee injury that is now not going to play one single down in the NFL. And it's so annoying when he does this because he drafted Will Redmond in the 3rd round. In that 3rd round, we could have gotten somebody like Dak Prescott. But instead, we didn't, and we got Rashard Robinson before Dak Prescott was drafted in the 4th round, I believe, or something like that. And it's like, why didn't you draft Dak? Why wouldn't you not draft that dude? Why would you not draft somebody like that? And Trent Baalke's mistakes are getting they're starting to come out now, and they're starting to just every one by one, just mistake after mistake after mistake that he keeps making, and it's starting to get to me. It's starting to really get to me, so much that I might be applying for an NFL scout program so that I can actually get my foot in the door. So maybe one day, maybe I can rise up the ranks and maybe I can take over this dude's job. I'm telling you right now, I've been actually looking into the NFL scout program because I've been basically scouting on my own, and I feel like I do a better job from my freaking couch than this dude just does from the actual office or going to games and scouting. I don't know what he's looking at or what he's doing, but Trent Baalke is absolute garbage. He hasn't picked a good wide receiver in how long? How long has it been? I don't think he's ever picked a good wide receiver. He hasn't done jack squat. He's picked all these cornerbacks. He's picked all this stuff, and you guys heard this all before. And it's getting to this point now where somebody's got to do something about it. I feel like maybe somebody's got to do something about it. Maybe somebody can, attend classes, do something, rise up the ranks, and see if they can maybe get and take this guy's job because he is absolute horrible. I know it sounds funny. You're like, no, JT, you can't just do that. It doesn't work like that. I know it doesn't work like that, but my mindset is maybe get my foot in the door, or maybe somebody do something. Somebody got to make something happen. If you can't do anything unless you actually try to do something, and you can't accomplish something unless you try. And I just feel like maybe I need to get my foot in the door to maybe push something, or maybe push buttons to maybe get this guy, or maybe I can help scout, so maybe I can get some good players on this team, because it's just horrible to sit there and watch your team just decimated by one guy who just is so egotistical and so stupid that he can't figure out how to compile a team and draft for needs instead of drafting for competition, which is what he does. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It's just dumb. If you want to look at good GMs, look at Ozzie Newsome. Look at the team he's compiled in Baltimore. Yeah, they might they're down maybe a year here and there, but he always drafts for needs. He always finds really, really decent players or really good players and fills them on that defense, and that defense can fly. And he does that every year, year in and year out. He's one of the best GMs in the NFL. Of course, Bill Belichick, the way he runs the Patriots. I mean, there's just so many guys after guys that are just so good at being a GM and so good at working with coaches, and they do so well. But yet we have this Baalke idiot who just ruins teams. So, like I said, the Niners played a great game. Quentin Patton had a nice catch in that game. Vance McDonald did pretty well. The running game was obsolete. Like, it was gone. There was no running game. Carlos Hyde was dancing too much in the hole. Instead of just hitting the hole or trying to just at least roll forward for maybe 2 or 3 yards, he kept trying to bounce outside. He does this thing where he hits the hole and then he tries to bounce outside and then he loses like 2 or 3 yards. He does this every time. I don't know why he does it. Just hit the hole, take your yard or 2 or maybe 3 if you're lucky to push the pile, but don't go backwards and try to bounce it outside and then lose 2 or 3 yards. You're killing your team. You're putting us in a 2nd down and 13 situation. We don't do well in 2nd down and 13. We're not a 2nd down and 13 team. Take the 3 yards, then take another 2 or 3 yards if you have to, and then see if we can get a 1st down on 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 3. I don't understand why these players sometimes, they think they can score every time. It's not about the scoring. It's about getting up the field. It's about being a team. It's a team game. You play it so that way you can help the team. If it's by 1 or 2 yards you're getting, then that's what you got to get. But don't go backwards. I don't know why players ever do that. But yeah, Carlos Hyde did that. Was a little upset at him. A little annoyed at the plays that he kept doing that in. Other than that, I mean, like I said, it was a good effort. I don't want to put them down because it was a great effort by the Niners. I'm still proud of the way they played yesterday. They gave every effort they could to win, and just unfortunately they couldn't. So now we're 1-8, and the season's over. At this point, you root for them to win, but at the same time, when they lose, you're kind of not that sad because maybe your draft pick gets a little bit better. for next year. So the losses kind of don't sadden me. It's what happens at the end of the year when they actually win like 2 games and then they lose spots in the draft pick. Oh, that annoys the crap out of me, because then they go from like a number 2 pick to like a number 5 pick, and they do this every year where they win like 2 games at the end of the year and they upset people, and it's like, what did that help? What did that do? All it did was help you this year, but it doesn't do anything. You lose your draft spot. So look for that to happen. If you think the 49ers are going to get the number 1 pick, it probably is not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, there's no way this team is probably going to go 1-15. I don't care what the schedule is. They're going to upset somebody. That they do it every year. They upset a couple teams at the end of the year. They start playing really well, and that's what happens. But it's just so frustrating when your team sucks and you want them at the point to get a good draft pick so that way they won't suck. Maybe you can get a couple picks that maybe turn this team around, but at the same time, you know what's going to happen next. You know what's going to happen. They're going to win games. So let me know what you thought in the comment section about the team, how they played. Let me know what you think about Trent Baalke, of course, because I know you guys are a little frustrated as I am seeing Will Redmond go on the IR. And let me know what you think coming up against we're playing the Patriots. So Tom Brady and company is not going to be an easy game, but it's in San Francisco, so maybe we can do some work, but it's going to be a tough game, I believe, playing that Patriot team. So we'll see what happens, but very frustrating, guys. So for JT Magnum, Niner News, I'm out. Peace, y'all.